The peculiar pet emporium of Whimsy Lane. Illyra lived on a very straight street in a very ordinary town, where the most exciting thing that ever happened was the daily arrival of the mail truck. She longed for something different. One Tuesday, while chasing a runaway ball, she stumbled down a cobblestone alley she had never seen before. At the end of the alley was a shop with a window that shimmered like a soap bubble. Above the door, a sign swirled with painted letters, "The Peculiar Pet Emporium." A tiny bell chimed as Illyra stepped inside. The air smelled of sugar and rain. Behind a counter stood a woman with glasses that changed color. "Looking for a companion, dear?" she asked, her voice like rustling pages. Before Illyra could answer, a small creature zoomed past her ear and landed on a dusty globe. It was no bigger than a teacup, with the fluffy body of a gray kitten, but it had shimmering, moth-like wings and eyes that swirled like liquid gold. I see you've spotted Fig," the woman said. "A cloud kitten. They're quite rare. He's a little shy, but he purrs thunderstorms." Fig blinked his golden eyes at Illyra, and a tiny, warm rumble echoed in the shop. A miniature, fluffy cloud puff poofed above his head. Illyra was instantly in love. Can he come home with me?" she asked. "If he chooses you," the woman said. "But remember, peculiar pets require peculiar care. Fig will need a patch of moonlight to drink each night and a soft blanket woven with laughter." Illyra promised she would provide everything, and Fig, after a moment's consideration, fluttered down and nestled in the crook of her arm, purring a soft, rumbly purr that felt like a miniature earthquake of joy. At first, having Fig was magical. He chased sunbeams around her room, leaving trails of glittering dust. He napped in a hammock Illyra made from a scarf, and every time he sneezed, he released a shower of silver sparkles. But peculiar pets also came with peculiar problems. Fig hated the vacuum cleaner. The moment Illyra turned it on, he would puff up to twice his size, his purse turning into a full-blown thunderclap that shook the pictures on the walls. One afternoon, he was so startled by a truck backfiring outside that he shot straight up in the air, did 3 frantic loops around the ceiling fan, and unleashed a small, localized rain shower over Illyra's homework. Her parents started to notice strange things. Damp socks. Glitter in the butter. A faint smell of ozone in the laundry basket. "This house feels electrically charged," her father remarked one evening during a particularly rumbly purr from Fig, which made everyone's hair stand on end. Illyra knew she had to be more careful. She started playing soft music to cover the thunder purrs. She collected moonlight in a special bowl by the window each night. She told her funniest jokes into a blanket until her sides ached, just to weave it with laughter for his bed. But the biggest challenge was the school pet show. Illyra wanted to enter Fig more than anything. She was sure he would win the most unique pet ribbon. On the day of the show, she hid Fig in her backpack. When it was her turn, she unzipped the bag and whispered, "Okay, Fig, just a little purr." A tiny one. Fig poked his head out, took one look at the crowd of children and the barking dogs, the meowing cats and the squeaking hamsters, and froze. His eyes went wide. A low rumble started in his chest. "No, Fig, not here," Illyra pleaded. But it was too late. A nervous, rumbling purr erupted from the tiny kitten. A dark cloud gathered over the judging table. A single, fat raindrop splashed onto the first place trophy. Then another. Then a downpour, right there in the gymnasium, complete with a flash of lightning from Fig's whiskers and a clap of thunder from his tiny chest. Children shrieked and laughed, running through the puddles. The hamsters looked bewildered in their suddenly damp cages. The head judge, Mr. Davison, was drenched. Illyra's heart sank. She was sure she was in terrible trouble. She scooped up a shivering, apologetic Fig and prepared to run. But then, Mr. Davison started to chuckle. He took off his sopping hat and wrung it out. Well, he boomed over the last of the thunder. I believe we have a winner. That is, without a doubt, the most peculiar pet I have ever seen. He handed Elira a slightly damp blue ribbon that read Most Unique Pet. Fig, exhausted from his storm, gave a final, tiny purr that produced a perfect, shimmering rainbow that arched over the entire crowd. From then on, Elira didn't try to hide Fig's peculiarities. She learned that having a magical friend meant sometimes having a rainy day indoors or finding glitter in your cereal. And the straight street in the ordinary town became a much more interesting place, known for the occasional, mysterious rainbow that would appear from a bedroom window on a perfectly sunny day. The end.